as the moon lit up the night. It's just so holy when you're under its real sky. Gaze upon her beauty and serenity I found. And in our oneness of spirit, I know I heard her sound, singing, oh, I'm just serving the like you. Oh, in everything that I do. Oh, with all my heart, soul, and might, I'll be praising you forever in my eternal life. Yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah, yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah, yeah, walking the shores and the tides were riding high. The ocean's power makes my spirit feel so nice. The waves so pleasant on my feet upon the ground. And in our oneness of spirit, I know I heard this sound, singing, oh, well, I'm just serving you like you. Oh, and everything that I do. Oh, with all my heart, soul, and might, I'll be praising you forever in my eternal life. The bees and trees and flowers all praise Yah's name. I know the animals have got to feel the same. The earth his footstool and the stars his diamond crown. And if you're one with creation, I know you hear the sound, singing, oh, we're just praising you like you. Oh, in everything that we do. Oh, with all our heart, soul, and might, we'll be praising you forever in our eternal life, singing, oh, I'm just serving you like you. Oh, in everything that I do. Oh, with all my heart, soul, and might, I'll be praising you forever in my eternal life. Yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah, yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah, yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Facebook Live, good morning, Breaking Strongholds Ministries. Good morning, YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple. How's everybody doing this morning? Happy Sabbath day, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Happy Sabbath day to all my peoples out here in the world today. Good morning. I hope everything is well with you all. I hope the Most High has blessed you over and abundantly with the things that your heart desire. I pray that He has given you everything that you wanted with wisdom and knowledge and understanding of your life. And wisdom and knowledge and understanding of what's going on in the world today. I hope everything been going well with you. Like I say, the Most High deals with me weekly for today. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect person. I'm not saying that I got it all together. I'm not saying that I'm the all in all, because I'm not. I'm none of the above. I'm just a person trying to do the Most High will, and hope I'm doing it in the right manner. I hope I'm doing it in the right manner. You know, That's the most important thing. Hoping that you can do things in the right manner. And just functioning in the reality, you know. Um, just just trying to do the right thing. And that's what I'm trying to do. Regardless of what's going on, regardless of whatever it is, just trying to do the right thing. Because we never know the day nor the hour that he may call us home. And you want to do what's right. You just want to do what you think is right. And what, because yesterday my wife and I was having a conversation, and there was a scenario that was brought up because some things that was going on. And the question to my wife, I asked my wife a question: what is right in this situation? Because of what we think is right, is it truly right? And what we think is wrong, is it really truly wrong? And you know, because of the projection that we've been given about the Most High, or Yahshua, the Hamashiach, we always thinking that turning the other cheek is always the right thing to do. Even though we want to be slow to wrath, but is turning the cheek always the right thing to do? Because he do say don't spare the rod, or you spare the child. So also you have to pull your brother's coattail. In so many words, when Peter and Paul got into it, they're having a dispute over the word. So sometimes what we think is right is not always right, and what we think is wrong is not always wrong. And that's something I think we have to understand. But you have to go to and pray to the Most High on that situation. Because your perception of the Most High is probably not actually the way he was. Because I was talking to a guy yesterday, and we was talking about the word, and he said, well, I don't have a weapon. He said, I'm not a violent man. I said, but the Bible is full of bloodshed. I said, the Bible is full of violence. That's all the majority is in the Bible is violence, wars and conquering and wars and brutality and afflictions that's in the Bible. And he said, well, yeah, that's true. I said, so what you think is right is not always right, and what you think is wrong is not always wrong. I said, so just make sure you understand that it ain't nothing wrong with getting a weapon. I told him, I said, it's okay to protect yourself. And, it's just that sometimes I think we've been given this false perception of the Bible or the Biblio, or we've been given a false doctrine, not because they misunderstood it. We've been given a false doctrine because it was intentional. And I think the hardest part about life, it's like yesterday, people, and I'm going to say that, I'm going to address this and I'm going to leave it alone, about the Kevin Samuel's death. And a lot of people are saying they're glad that he passed away, and the Most High did this and the Most High did that. And then some people saying they wish he would have never passed away, and so forth and so forth. And they said the Most High came and got him because of how he was, and this, that, and the other. But Kevin Samuel don't talk to our sisters no worse than these young rappers talk to our kids on the rap music. So if you listen to the rap music is calling out young girls B's and H's and all these other things, and doing all this other stuff to them and telling them this, that, and the other. But Kevin Samuel was was trying to correct the problem, but because he didn't correct the problem in the way you all thought he should have corrected, or whatever the situation is, some people get mad because they said he was talking down on women. But what do rap music do? What do rap videos do? But you don't condemn the rap videos and you don't condemn the rappers, but you're condemning a man who was doing something for the last 20 years to try to help the community, but he didn't help the community in the way some of you all thought he should have, so y'all glad he passed away. But then y'all said the Most High did it. But also remember that some people may pass away in your family, so if that happens, so you got to say, well, the Most High brought him home too. So I think we really got to be careful on what we say about people, because everybody ain't designed to do the same thing. Everybody ain't designed to do the same thing. Everybody ain't designed to go the same way. Everybody can't speak the same language to everybody. That's what we have to understand. And if you can't understand that, and if you're trying to put everybody in your box, you're wrong. You can't put everybody in your box and expect for your box to be right when there's so many boxes out here. And the Most High is trying to get people from all aspects to come into his way of doing things. It may not be your language, but if it ain't your language, don't listen to it. But don't condemn a brother because he been called to do a purpose. And he can't condemn you for you called to be doing your purpose. You got to just stay in your lane, because I never seen one person drive 2 cars going down the highway. I never seen it. So whatever car you're driving, you drive to the best of your abilities and leave other people alone while they're trying to drive theirs. So that's my take on that. But it's, you know, I put something out on Facebook yesterday. I said, people who tell the truth are hated. I said, society has twisted everything. I said, people who tell the truth is not the problem. It's the people who's believing the lie is. If you continue to perpetuate and believe the lie, you are the problem. It's not the people who's trying to tell you the truth. It's that you're trying to continue to have this lie exist so that you can be comfortable. That's the problem. You're perpetuating the cycle. You're keeping everything going. And I'm not saying you who listening to me, but you understand what I'm saying. You can't go along to get along and think that it's okay. And I'm gonna get out that soapbox on that, but let me go ahead and go to Exodus chapter 20. But I just want us to understand, what you think is right is not always right, and what you think is wrong is not always wrong. So you're just going to have to evaluate that from the true exegesis or deciphering or studying of the word. Because I'm going to teach you some stuff today that you probably ain't even thought about. Because sometimes we think that, oh God, Jesus love everybody. I'm finna show you that. I'm finna show you something. Because we got a jacked up frame of thinking. And you know, it comes from the teachings that we got. Not the scripture itself. It just comes from how we was taught. And see, a lot of theologians may not want to say that because they're perpetuating a cycle. They're keeping people in darkness. And let me be quiet. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20, verse 1 through 17. Just remember, if you hated what Kevin Samuel said about women, remember to listen to the music. Understand the rap music that you listen to. The provocative music that you listen to. They call you B's and H's and all those other things. If you're going to get mad with Kevin Samuel about what he said about women, you should be protesting the rap music that you listen to. Okay, Exodus chapter 20, verse 1 through 17. And I'm not saying I'm for him or against him. But judge not, ye be judged by the same merit that you judge. And El spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And thou shalt have no other Els before me. Thou shalt not take unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath and hallowed it. Honor thy fathers and thy mother, that thy day be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Let us pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory, forever and ever, so let it be. Good morning, Facebook Live. Good morning, Breaking Strongholds Ministries. YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple. I hope everybody's having a great day. Happy Shabbat Shalom to everyone. If you could turn to the book of the Gospel of John. The Gospel of John. The Gospel of John chapter 2. The Gospel of John chapter 2. The Gospel of John chapter 2 verse 23 through 25. The Gospel of John chapter 2 verse 23 through 25. And the key verse will be verse 24. The Gospel of John chapter 2 verse 23 through 25. And the key verse is verse 24. And the word and it reads. And it reads. But Jesus or Yahshua did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men. Let me read that over. But Jesus did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men. He knew all men. The word commit in this means to trust. Okay? The word in this text means to, the word commit in this verse means to trust. It says commit means to have faith in, upon, or with respect to a person or thing. It means to have faith in, upon, or respect to a person or thing. That is credit by implication to entrust, especially one's spiritually well-being to Christ, to believe, commit to trust, put in trust with. What this verse is saying, but Jesus did not trust himself unto them, because he knew all men. Because he knew all men. The word trust means to rely, make a strong and safe. It means trust. It means to rely upon. Jesus did not trust everybody. Sometimes we saying that Jesus loved everybody, but Jesus don't love everybody. He didn't trust everybody. In this verse, that's what it's saying. Jesus didn't trust everybody. I'm going to read it over. It says, but Jesus did not trust himself unto them. Let's look at the word unto them. Unto means. Unto means, unto them means perhaps akin to the base of. Then it says, of the third person or with proper personal pronouns, or of other persons. He means that he didn't trust nobody but his disciples. And he really didn't trust his disciples that much. So when we say that Jesus loved everybody and this, that, and other, Jesus didn't trust the people he was around. Jesus did not, or Yahshua did not trust everybody. It says, of the other persons, her or itself, one, the other, on my own. He didn't even trust his own. Okay, themselves. So when we're looking at the word upon them, unto them, he means that he didn't trust them. He didn't trust her. He didn't trust all people. He didn't trust all men. And if I may give a title of the text this morning is, the Most High knows what you're all about. It said he knows what you're all about. The Most High knows what you're all about. And see, sometimes we think we can pull the wool over the Most High eyes, but it tells you right here, but Jesus did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men. So, when we start to look at the book of James, right? The book of John. The book of John is basically the word becoming flesh. And Yahshua the HaMashiach is beginning to do exactly what the words say do. But I'm gonna read you a little bit of it. It says, the fourth gospel may be outlined as a prelude, the witness of John the Baptist, Jesus the first disciple, the witnesses of Christ of glory in the world, in the farewell discourse. Okay? But both the extended Hellenistic element within this gospel and the open conflict with the Jewish synagogues that it portrayed contributes heavily to the view that John is most cherished among the Gentiles. His message has often been oversimplified as an invitation to eternal life through mere confession. Evangelisticals have come to cherish such simplicity and clarities. There are few great areas in this gospel. The African heritage of this gospel is evident in the Afro-Asiatic identity of Jesus and his disciples and the social stigma attached especially to the Samaritan woman in chapter 4, as well as in the foot washing ritual that Jesus initiated in chapter 13 on the occasions of giving of the new commandments. Notably, this gospel denied that anyone assists Jesus in the carrying of the cross, but the claim is made for chronological reasons more than historical accuracy. But this in the book of John is basically talking about who Jesus actually, or Yeshua, who actually Yeshua was. It is telling you who he was, what he did, how he did it. It told you the actions of him. That's basically what the book of John is about. And see, when this morning when I was doing something, when I was writing, I was studying this morning, I always, because when you look at the chronological orders of the books, how the New Covenant is set up, that is not how it was wrote. When you look at the book of John is considered to be wrote 60 to 70 years after the death of the Messiah. So when we look at the book of John, or the Gospel of John was wrote during the 900 to 100 century. It wasn't wrote a couple of months, a couple of days, or whatever after, or during his time period. It was wrote 60 to 70 years after his death, or crucifixion, or hanging, or lynching. So, but when we start to understand it, the writers, when they wrote it, they wrote basically writing it to tell you who he was, what he did, how he did it, what his thoughts were about everything that was going on. That's what the book of John was about. And sometimes when we really don't we really don't decipher the word, we can do a lot of misunderstandings about the text. Because when I looked at this week, that when I was dealing with me this week on some stuff, and I started praying this morning, this is what he sent me to. He sent me to John chapter 2, verse 23 and 25 through 25, and I'm going to deal with it now. But we got to understand that the book of John was written 60 to 70 years after the death of the Messiah. It's talking about how the Word became flesh. He actually became the Messiah. He actually became El, because he was doing the things on earth in the physical realm, so that people can actually see El in the physical as well as in the spiritual. That is the reason why he did all the miracles that he did, because he actually wanted everyone to see God, or El, in the present state. That's why the reason why a lot of those things was done, because of the simple fact is he wanted the people to really see with their eyes. Okay? So now when we start to talk about John 23, verse 23, 24, and 25, it's something that it was striking to me, because of the simple fact that this is what I experienced this week. You know, because let me go to Matthew's. Which one in Matthew's? Let me go to Matthew's chapter 27, verse 18 first. Because when Yeshua the HaMashiach, or Jesus the Christ, was on the scene, we have to look at what he was doing at the time. He was teaching the truth. He was telling the truth. He was healing people. He was bringing people out of their oppression. He was bringing people out of their illnesses. He was bringing people out of their bad or decapitated state, and he was renewing them physically and spiritually. And it's like when you come into a new environment and you're bringing things that are new, and you're changing the environment, the people that's around you who are benefiting from the decapitated state of the people will get upset because now those people are not depending on the oppressors anymore. And once those people start depending on the oppressors to lead and guide them, the oppressors will get upset because the people are less dependent on them. See, if the church actually talked about the veil being cut, they will understand that they really don't need to go through man to get to the Most High no more. And when that happens, that means that who listen to me, if everybody study for themselves, they won't need me. And I'm not saying that you need me. And I mean, if you listen to me, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. More power to you. And I pray that the Most High deliver you. But you will always need somebody to bounce something off of, to be able to have studies with. But not necessarily, you don't need nobody to continue to guide you like the church guide the people today. That's what the veil of the cutting of the veil was all about, is that you don't have to go through man anymore. So when Yahshua the HaMashiach was on the scene, he was changing things. He was doing things that other people was not doing. And once he started to understand that, and once he understood that, this verse in Matthew chapter 27 verse 18 means a whole lot to me. Matthew chapter 27 verse 18 meaning, he said, for he knew that for envy they had delivered him. Meaning that the reason why he was on that cross or getting ready to be persecuted on that tree, it was because of envy. He understood that people around him hated him. See, everybody didn't like the Messiah when he was around. Everybody didn't love the Messiah when he was around. Everybody wasn't honoring him and worshiping him and bowing down at his feet and loving on him. And everybody wasn't doing that with him. Everybody wasn't flocking to him like that. No, a lot of people was not doing that. A lot of people was not flocking to him trying to be delivered. It's just like when we had the civil rights movement. Everybody wasn't in the civil rights movement. Everybody was not on Martin Luther King bandwagon. A lot of ministers today did not. A lot of ministers of that time did not like Dr. King. A lot of ministers did not like Farrakhan. A lot of members don't like Farrakhan. A lot of ministers did not like Malcolm X. A lot of people did not like Marcus Garvey. A lot of people did not like, quote unquote, Harriet Tubman. So when you see these people that are coming on the scene and trying to change things for the better, a lot of people they're going to have some adversaries. They're going to have people that's against them. They're going to have people that's pushing back against them because the simple fact is they're changing things. They're making the situations balanced. So when we're looking at that text in John chapter 2 verse 24, he understood that people did not like him. That's why he didn't trust them. He understood that people didn't like him. That's why he didn't trust them. And that's the first point. People envied him. They hated him. So if a person don't like you, why would you trust them? If a person do not like you, why would you trust them? when you know that they would deliver you up to be killed? They were plotting and planning to kill you. Why would you even trust them? Let's go to James chapter 4. No, hold on for a second. Yeah, let's go to James. Let's go to Acts. Acts chapter 20, verse 29. And I'm gonna get back to the text in a second. I just jumped off. I didn't jump off. It just led me somewhere else. So if they deliver him, okay, so he knew the reason. He knew that they hated him. He knew that they hated him. Pharaoh knew that they hated him. Pilate knew that they hated him. Jesus knew that they hated him. Okay, Acts chapter 20, verse 28 and 29. It says, "Take heed therefore unto yourself and to all the flocks over which the Holy Ghost has made you overseers, to feed the church of El, or the assembly of El, which he has purchased with his own blood." He said, "For I know this, after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Also your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them." See, the Messiah was telling the people, the disciples, what was getting ready to happen. Because he knew the hearts of men. He knew that the hearts of men was wicked. He knew the hearts of men was unrighteous. He knew the hearts of men was not right at all. Because of, I'm going to come back to that. He knew that the hearts of men was not right. The Messiah understood his condition. He knew his situation. So he wasn't going to trust. He wasn't trusting everybody. He knew that the Pharisees and the scribes was jacked up. He knew that the environment that the people was in, they was jacked up. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 17. Verse 8 and 9. Because we have to understand that when the Messiah said he didn't trust everybody, he knew that everybody at that time was evil. It's like now, you can't trust everybody. You can't trust everybody. It's very few people that you can trust. If you can trust 2 people in your circle, you're doing good.
In your circle the size of a needle.
What you say, baby?
And your circle's the size of a needle eye.
Right. If you can trust 2 people in your circle, you're doing good. Because everybody now they're not righteous people. If he couldn't trust everybody, what make you think you can trust everybody? And that word commit means trust. He said, I don't trust all these people out here. Man, are you crazy? We don't even understand the language that this right, the Bible and all the other books give you just a segment of conversations that was taking place at that time. So we wouldn't even really understand the conversation that was behind closed doors. We don't understand how he was actually talking to his disciples every day for 3.5 years. Man, he probably was blasting them because the simple fact is, these disciples getting ready to try to put trust in people who he knew that he could not trust. Jeremiah 17, 9 to 10. It says, the heart is deceitful above all things. It means the heart is the mind. The mind is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? He said the mind and the heart is jacked up. He says, I know the Lord searches the heart. I tried the rein, even to every man according to his ways, and according to the fruits of his doings. That's the reason why he don't trust him, because the mind is so jacked up. Because we got to look at it. See, in that time period when Yahshua was on the scene, it was called the Hellenistic period, meaning it was chaotic. It was jacked up. It's like right now. We can call this period the Hellenistic period because everything goes. There's no limitations to whatever it is in life. If you want to change if you just want to be called a it, they'll call you a it. If you want to be called this, they'll call you that. If you want to be this, you can be that. If you want to kiss your dog like it's a man, you can kiss a dog like it's a man. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. This is considered to be the same as the time of Yahshua the HaMashiach, the Hellenistic period where everything goes and can't nobody condemn nobody for nothing. And when you're in a chaotic situation like that, who can you trust? Because the hearts of man is wicked. He ain't thinking about, nobody thinking about the Most High right now. They only thinking about themselves. He said the heart is deceitful above all things. That's why he don't trust nobody. He said, and desperately wicked. Who can I know? Who can know it? That's why he didn't trust him, because the heart was evil. The people was evil. Acts 20. Acts 20, 29. So when we say Yahshua the HaMashiach loved everybody, that's a lie. He didn't love everybody. He didn't die for everybody. Would you die for somebody who hates you? Who persecuted you? Who killed you? Who tried to kill you? No, you wouldn't. Acts 20 and 29, it says, for I know this, that after my departing, I just read this, for I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter among you, not sparing the flock. So the first point, if I could say, Jesus did not trust everybody because he knew that they was evil. He knew that they was mentally, physically, and spiritually evil. They just didn't surrender him up to be persecuted. Jeremiah told you they were mentally jacked up. And he said that they would even be a part of the congregation. Where it says that after my departing shall grievous wolf enter in among you, not sparing the flock. And I'm going to show you 3 people who was among him that was jacked up. 3 people that was among the Messiah that was really truly jacked up. And we never paid any attention to it. But he knew who they was. Let's go to Matthew's. No, let's go to John 13 and 27. Jesus, the Messiah didn't trust everybody. Because he knew he knew that they the one who, How could he trust the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scribes and the priests when they the one who put him to get killed? When they were lying on him, when they were doing all these things to him, how could he trust them? John chapter 13, verse 27. The Gospel of John, chapter 13, verse 27. But I'm going to read 26th verse and 27. And Yahshua answered, it is to whom I shall give a sop when I dip it. And when he dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simeon. And after the sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Yahshua unto him, that thou dost do quickly. And no man at the table knew for what intent he spake this unto him, Judas. For some of them thought because Judas had the bag, that Jesus had said unto him, by those things that we have need of against the feast, or that he should give something to the poor. He then, having received the sop, went immediately out, and it was night. Let me go back to verse 21 so that you can understand. And when Jesus had thus said, he was troubled in spirit and testified and said, verily, verily, I say unto you that one of you shall betray me. Judas was among him. Yahshua knew that Judas was going to betray him. Yahshua knew that Judas was going to betray him. He said, verily, verily, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. Then the disciples looked one on another, doubting of whom he spake. Now there was one leaning on Jesus' bosom, one of his disciples, whom Jesus loved. Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake. Then he lying on Jesus' breast said unto him, Master, who is it? Jesus answered, He it is to whom I shall give a sop. And when I dip it, and when he dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon. Jesus knew this. Judas was gonna betray him. So why would he be trusting these people around him if he knew that one of them was gonna betray him? Why would Jesus be trusting these people if he knew that they were going to betray him? Why would he be trusting the scribes and the Pharisees and the people if he knew that they was going to put him on that tree and persecute him and lie on him? Why would Jesus trust these people, when he said this about them in Matthew chapter 13, verse 3 and 14. No, that ain't it. Hold on, let me read. Let's go to Matthew chapter 9. Why would Jesus trust these people if he's walking down here looking at them like this right here? In Matthew chapter 9, verse 36, he said, let me go to verse 35. And when Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitude, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Why would he be trusting these people when he know these people are jacked up? He knew that they was living in a Hellenistic time. Even though he was doing the things that he did, they still didn't believe in him. Why would he continue to trust these people? Let's go to Luke, chapter 22, verse 61. He knew that the Pharisees and the scribes put him on a cross, put him on a tree because of envy. He knew that the people's minds was jacked up because of Matthew chapter 9, verse 36. He knew that Jonas would betray him. Luke chapter 22, verse 61. I'm going to go to verse 60 first. And Peter said, Man, I know not what thou sayest. And immediately while he yet spake, the cock crowed. And the Lord turned and looked upon Peter, and Peter remembered the words of the Master, how he said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And Peter went out and wept bitterly. Let me see if I can get another verse for that first. Let me read it out of Matthew chapter 26. Matthew chapter 26, verse 30 through 34. And when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then Jesus or Yahshua unto them. Then said Jesus unto them, All ye shall be offended because of me this night. The word offended means sin. All of you shall sin because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter, listen what Peter said. Peter answered and said unto him, Though all men shall be offended or sin because of thee, yet will I never be offended. And Jesus said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, that this night before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice or 3 times. And listen to what Peter said. Peter said unto him, Though I shall die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. Yahshua knew that Peter was going to deny him. Why would he be putting all his trust in Peter when he knew Peter wasn't going to stand up for him and give his life for him? That's why he kept saying, I'm going to send a comforter down here. When you had a true encounter with Christ, that's when he can really know he can trust you. These people was walking with the Messiah every day for 3.5 years, but in the back of his mind, in his subconscious, he knew he couldn't trust them. Because he knew they was like sheep without a shepherd. He knew that. He knew that they was being led astray. He knew that. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let me show you this in Jeremiah too. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 50 and 6. It says, my people has been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. Listen to this. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. So do you really think the Messiah is going to trust a dumb and ignorant person who's been led astray by their teachers? Do you think that honestly the Messiah is going to really trust these people who are ignorant of the word to really do what they say they're going to do? It says they have turned them away on the mountain. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. So why would the Messiah trust people like that? Why would he trust people like that? When he know they don't even have a small idea of who he is. Judas betrayed him. Peter denied him. And let's go to another one. Let's go to John. John chapter 20 verse 27. But I'm going to read verse 24. It said, but Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Jesus or Yeshua came. The other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Master. But he said unto them, except I shall see in his hands the prints of the nail, and put my finger in the print of the nail, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. And after 8 days again his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Yeshua or Jesus, the door being shut, and stood in the midst and said, peace unto you. Then said he to Thomas, reach hither thy finger, and behold my hand, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing. And Thomas answered and said unto him, my Lord, my Master, and my El. And Yeshua said unto him, Thomas, Didymus, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. See, Messiah knew that Thomas didn't believe him. They were just walking with him because they just thought it was something to do. And it was like, it's a lot of people in the church really go to church but don't believe nothing that the words say when they are in church. But they just do it because it's a ritual. They just do it because their parents did it, not really letting the word become flesh. And that is the harder part. Let me go back to John. John chapter 2, verse 23. See, this is something that we haven't been taught in the church. It says, and when he was in Jerusalem at Passover, this was a special time. Now, this was at the beginning of the first or the second Passover. Okay? This is when he was at Passover sitting down with his disciples and they was talking. In the feast days, many believed in his name when they saw the miracles which he did. But Jesus did not trust himself unto them, because he knew all men, and needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in man. He knew that man had an evil heart. He knew that we had evil intentions. He knew that we really did not trust him. We would betray him. We would deny him. He knew all these things. We wasn't even knowledgeable of him. Let's go to Let's go to Isaiah 42. Isaiah 42 and 18. That's why they was, because their assumption of how he should be when the Messiah came, their presumption of how he should be and how he was two different things. That's why they had a difficult time dealing with him. Because they wanted him to just come in and just run over and kill the Roman Empire, just whirr. That's what they wanted. But because he wasn't presenting himself that way, it was a total misunderstanding. That's why they said, man, you ain't the real El, man, you ain't the real Messiah. So that's why they began to hate him, because he was actually going against the leadership at that time. He wasn't going against the government because he didn't have nothing to do with the government. He wasn't dealing with the government. He was dealing with the people that were following the government. It says in Isaiah 42:18, it says, hear ye deaf and look ye blind that you may see. He telling you deaf and you blind. You don't even know what's going on. You can't see nothing. How can I trust you? Who is blind but my servants? Who is blind but my servants? Or deaf as my message that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord servants? Seeing many things, but thou observe not. How can you trust somebody who actually can see but actually not paying attention to what's going on in society? How can he trust somebody who hears the word but not be doers of the word? He says, seeing many things but thou observe not, opening the ears but heareth not. He said, you don't have no understanding of what the word is saying, but you thinking I'm going to trust you? That's why he kept calling the Pharisees and the scribes hypocrites. How can you trust somebody who don't actually know the word to teach the word right? Let's go to John 19, chapter 9. Gospel of John, chapter 9. Verse 39. I'm going to go to verse 37 first. And Yahshua said unto him, thou hast been seen, thou hast both seen him, and it is he that talketh with thee. And he said, Yahuwah, I believe, and he worshipped him. And Yahshua said, for judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and that they that which see might be made blind. And some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words, and said unto him, are we blind also? And listen to what he said. And Yahshua said unto them, if ye were blind, ye should have no sin. But now ye say, we see, therefore your sin remain. How can the Messiah trust somebody who really supposed to be teaching the people the word, but they don't have no comprehension of the word? They don't understand the word. They ain't teaching the word right. They're doing a lot of presuppositions. Look at the environment. Just say if he came to this world today and he was teaching something that was so contrary to the Christian church, do you honestly think that the people would really believe him? Or do you think they would persecute him? Do you think they would want to do envy towards him? Do you think that if he was telling women, no, you need to obey your husband, be submissive to your husband, that women would want to follow him? Do you think that if he was telling people, you shouldn't eat pork, that people would really follow him? Do you think if he was actually telling people you need to rest on the Sabbath, which is Saturday, they would really follow him? Do you think that if he was telling women who wear these provocative clothes that no, you need to wear clothes, moderate clothes, so that you can't show what's up on it, show your body to everybody and have people lusting after you because of your body? Do you think that he was if he came on the scene and he was telling people this stuff, this information, they would believe him? And they'll want to follow him. Or they'll want to stone him or kill him. So if those people want to stone and kill him, why would he follow? Why would he trust those people? He's going against everything that they believe. Last one. 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians. See, it's not the people who's telling the truth the problem. It's the people that's believing the lie the problem. 2 Corinthians chapter 4. 3 and 4. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the error of this world has blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of the Christ, who is the image of El, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Yahshua the HaMashiach, and ourselves your servant, for Yahshua's sake. For El, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts, to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of El in the face of Yahshua the HaMashiach. See, the reason why Messiah couldn't trust nobody, because he tested everybody. He tested Peter. He tested Judas. He tested Thomas. He was with. He even sent people that he healed to the Pharisees, and he tried to test. He tested them, and all of them failed the test. Everybody failed the test. Everybody failed the test. And if the Messiah came down today and started telling people, you need to start wearing moderate clothes. You need to start listening to that provocative music. You need to start resting on the 7th day of the week and not the first day of the week. You need to stop participating in what's going on with these holidays. If he came down here today and started doing that, and do you think that he would not get backlash? He would not get persecuted? And then you think he's going to turn around and trust the people who persecute him? Who going against him, who fighting against him, who trying to kill him? No, he wouldn't. He would not. So when in John chapter 2, verse 24, it says, but Jesus did not commit or trust himself unto them, because he knew all men, and needed not that any should testify of man. For he knew what was in man. He knew what was in us. He knew our thoughts. He knew our heart. He knew our mind. So when we're looking at the Messiah, our viewpoint got to be different. We got to look at this text different. We got to look at how we read the text different. Because what we think his viewpoint is, or what we think his ways is, or what we think it is, it's not. It's nothing to the contrary. It's not what you think it is. Just imagine Jesus or Yahshua coming today, walking in what they call the ghetto, and telling those young girls who had children, 4 and 5 kids, you wrong for having those kids. Tell those young girls, put some clothes on your body. Get your education. Stop having sex before you marry. Because Roe versus Wade, everybody talking about the women have a right to abortion, right? Okay, that's your choice. But nobody's telling the young girls, don't have sex before marriage. If you taught your child, don't have sex before marriage, you won't even have to worry about abortion. But you're so more worried about abortions than not worried about your child having sex before marriage. That's the issue. I mean, if you think he came out here and told him, don't do this before marriage, what you think they'll say to him? I can do whatever I want to do. Who are you to judge me? Da, 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 da. Just look at it. How could he? Do you think he could be able to trust somebody who he's trying to correct? No. Because the person who he's trying to correct don't want to be corrected. Let me go to James 4 and 5. Did I read that one? James chapter 4 and 5. Let me see something. Yeah, I read that one. I'm about done. Listen to this. The reason why I say he tried everybody, listen to this. Psalm 7 and 9, and I'm done. And then I'm going to read you something else, and then I'm done. It says, Psalm 7 and 9, it says, oh, let the wickedness of the wicked comes to an end, but establish the just. For the righteous ale trieth the hearts and the rein. My defense is of ale, which saved the upright in heart. Ale judges the righteous, and ale is angry with the wicked every day. Isaiah 57, 18 and 19. It says, for the iniquity of covetousness was I wroth, and I smote him. I hid me and was wroth, and he went on forwardly in the ways of his heart. I have seen his ways and will heal him. I will lead him also and restore comfort unto him and to his mourners. I created the fruit of the lips, peace, peace to him that is far off, and to him that is near, saith Yahuwah. I will heal him. I will heal him. But the wicked are like the troubled seas, when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mere the dirt. There is no peace, saith Yahuwah, to the wicked, but I will heal him. See, at John chapter 2, Gospel of John chapter 2, verse 24 says, but Jesus did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men, and needed not that any should testify of men, for he knew what was in man. What was in man? The lust of evil. But the only way that we can be actually healed and have salvation is through the Messiah. That's the only way that we can be restored and be healed and revitalized and become whole, become complete. The only person that can do that is the Messiah. The Messiah, he was around evil people who wanted to kill him because of just the way they are mentally. He was around people who he couldn't trust because Judas denied him. Judas betrayed him. Peter denied him. And Thomas didn't believe in him. And none of the people was able to understand the word because they was all blind. Spiritually, they couldn't see. And spiritually, they couldn't hear. So that's why he had to use so many different parables, because they was not able to comprehend the word. They was not able to comprehend the word. He used parables because of that. He said in Matthew chapter 13 and 14, he says, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand. Seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. See, Acts chapter 2 is very important. On the day of Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit came down upon the people, and the reason why it came down upon the people, because they was all in agreement on the word. See, you have to be able to be in agreement with the word in order for the word to be fulfilled in you, in order for you to have salvation. And it says in Acts chapter 2 verse 1, it says, when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven, Shemiams, as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance. This is no different than when the Word became flesh. See, when you start to align yourself up with the Word, not be a betrayer of the word, not be a denier of the word, and not be a denier of the word, but study the word. And the word can become flesh with you. That's when your salvation comes. Yeshua could not trust the people because they was denying him. They were betraying him. They didn't believe in him. How can he trust those people? Everything, when you look at his character, he was trying to show them who he was through his healing and miracles and his teaching, but they still didn't believe him. He went to his own town Nazareth and tried to help the people, but he couldn't help them because they didn't believe him. The Most High knows what you're all about. It's just like you know what people are all about that's around you. And this is my conclusion. Just like Yeshua knew who people was and who was around him, he knew who they were. So do you. You know who people are. You know how to deal with people around you. You know how to get what you need to get from people that's around you because you know them. You know who cool. You know who ain't cool. You know who's slick. You know what they're about. You know what they want. You know how they want it and the way they want it. It's no difference. Your scenario is no different than his, but his is more anointed than yours. It's just how you deal with it. In order for us to have salvation, we got to be more one with the word. In order for them people to be one with you, they got to be straight up with you and real with you. It says, nobody knows what will be after tomorrow or after an hour. Death is heedless or mortal. The future is uncertain. Do not let evil dismay you, nor therefore exalt in success. Many times in life, incredible calamities have come suddenly to the confidence and release from evil to the vex. Accommodate yourself to the circumstances and do not blow against the wind. See the Messiah? He did not blow against the wind. He did not go against the grain. He said, those who are willing to receive you, you stay there with them. But those who don't, wash the dust off your feet and keep it moving. He was only dealing with those who really wanted to be dealt with. So if you want to have salvation, you want to have completeness, you want to have wholeness, give your life to Christ. Do what you got to do. Study the word. Because the Most High knows what you're all about. And you know what people are all about. So that concludes the teaching for today. I hope you all got a message out of it. I thank you. But, just continue to be ready, prepared for what's going on. Get your spiritual life right. Get your home life right. Get your physical life right. Walk in your reality. Let me pray so we can go. Abba, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Abba, we thank you for everything you have done and what you continue to do. Abba, we thank you for waking us up this morning so that we can be able to see the way you want us to see, hear the way you want us to hear, and speak the way you want us to speak, Father. Father, we understand that you was in some trying times just like we are in some trying times. And we understood that you couldn't trust everybody. And Abba, we understand that we can't trust everybody. We understand that everybody don't have our best intentions at heart. We know that we have people around us that are jealous of us, who will betray us, who will deny us, who won't believe in us. We understand that, Father, but we know that you are our Creator and you are all we need. And we just ask that you continue to be present in our life. We ask that you continue to guide our footsteps. We ask that you just continue to guide our hearts and our minds in the ways that you want us to do things and see things. I would just ask that you just continue to protect us and lead us and guide us in the ways of your word. We ask that you continue to let us see things over and abundantly the way you want us to. We ask that you just continue to pour out your wisdom and knowledge and understanding upon our life. We ask that you just continue to give us patience and understanding and meekness, because we know that sometimes we're dealing with sheep without a shepherd that's been led astray. Let us be able to endure to the end. Let us be able to make it. Let us prepare for what's to come. And Abba, forgive us for the sins that we have committed, knowingly and unknowingly. Forgive our forefathers of the sins that they have committed, knowingly and unknowingly. Forgive our children, our friends, and our offspring of the sins that they have committed, knowingly and unknowingly, Abba. And just continue to protect us as we travel these highways and byways. We having random killings each and every day. But Father, at the end of the day, we know that thy will shall be done. And all these things we pray in your higher name, so let it be. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Y'all have a blessed Sabbath day, and I thank you and I love y'all. And have a good one.
Nothing is hidden from you. You are omnipresent. Everything about your word is true. Your ways mystifies me. Your wisdom is unsearchable. And your spirit moves all across the earth. Who can do the things you've done? Yeah, who can love the way you do? You are misunderstood. Fearing you people should. You're the only one that's good.